Well, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we will be taking a look at what's new in WWDC22. What they announced that's gonna come up in September and beyond. Yes. And today we are going to be taking a look at Macos and iOS. Yes, the two major things in my opinion that have got updated and that have been carried over to other Apple operating systems such as watchOS and iPadOS. So without further ado, let's get started into macOS Ventura. Yes, it is a stunning operating system. If you thought that Monterey was fantastic, this is absolutely mind-blowing. As you can see, there's a lot of new things, and there's one thing that I particularly love in mail that's shown over here. You can undo send mails. So this is actually a very convenient feature because obviously, you know, in chat apps such as WhatsApp and now iMessage, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, those all have undo. And you can undo whatever you sent. And in email, like Gmail for example, I've never had that. Now, as soon as I heard Ventura's got this, I'm like, yes, we needed this. So thank you, Apple. Thank you, Apple, for including this fabulous things. And if you accidentally made a typo in your business email, at least you could correct it and resend it and stuff like that. Spotlight Search got a minor update, so it's got a bit better. I use Spotlight Search myself using the command space combination, and yeah, there's a new search design for that as well, and quick actions. So yeah, it's just got a better performance, and passkeys. So you got Safari and passkeys, but these aren't the major features. Like for example, I'm gonna get to Stage Manager, which will be on this page as well, and there's just a few more things such as shared tab groups, and you can do all of these things. These are minor updates, and yeah, over here, messages. This is what I wanted to talk about. iMessages. iMessages, you can edit messages or you can undo messages. So yeah, look, you can unsend that and you can archive. Archive, but you can mark a conversation as unread. So basically getting features that WhatsApp already has with the inclusion of editing messages, which is like an app such as Discord. Then you got SharePlay that can now do via messages. So yeah, now you can just send episodes and stuff via iMessages instead of only FaceTime. And this is also, by the way, in iOS 16. And yes, you got photos and all of these major things. Yeah, Stage Manager. So you've got 100 tabs open from different applications, okay? You don't want them all on the same screen. They're so cluttered. Use Stage Manager. You activate it in Control Center, and then you can switch between your tabs that you want, and it will only show up that one, so it creates a more clean atmosphere. And it's not finalized yet though, so as you can see over here, here's an animation of it. Yeah, so it's not finalized. If you look in the betas, there are obviously a few glitches regarding this, but those are only public betas, and obviously in the next few months during the fall as well, we'll see more improvements to these things. And yeah, it's more collaboration, more quick techniques, and continuity camera. Now, let me tell you, you might be thinking this came in macOS Mojave. Yes, it did, but that was different. This now uses your iPhone as a webcam, whilst Mojave to Monterey, which is what I'm using right now to record this video, yeah, they don't have webcam support from iPhones. So that's also really good. And yeah, you can use center stage using that and stuff like that. Now, all of these things come at a big cost on the user's end. Look at the specs here. Mac Pro, it used to be 2013 or later. Mac Studio, obviously there's only been one version. Macbook Air, it's quite, so actually only quite new devices can actually run this. So say like late 2015 MacBook Pros, yeah, so now it's only 2017 and later. Well, yeah, Monterey had different specifications, so if you still got your Monterey laptop, yeah, it won't be supported. I don't think this iMac that I'm using right at the moment will have any support for Ventura either. But yeah, it's still very cool to see this. Yeah, and that was macOS Ventura. Also, another thing to note, they renamed System Preferences to System Settings, and whenever you go to About Your Mac, it actually shows up your device. It's more like System Preferences, which is now System Settings, has literally just given itself an iOS vibe, and About Mac is also giving iOS vibes, so it's basically becoming more and more integrated, which is good. And obviously iOS 16. This itself is very exciting. Obviously you knew iOS 15 had a few updates, but it was relatively minor compared to like iOS 14, which introduced shortcuts, and iOS 16 is mind-blowing. Let me tell you, Android users might want to switch over. It's getting better. We finally got it. Customized lock screens, iOS 16. This is basically the headlines of it. It's so personal now, as you can see over here. Personal is powerful. You can redesign the lock screen however you like. You can redo backgrounds, as you can see over here. Look, you got different things you can choose. Images, you can change fonts. You can do everything that you could never do before. Oh yeah, and by the way, it shows 941 on this website, partly because 941 was when the first iPhone was revealed on stage. And also, you can add widgets, and that's not even the best part of it. Well, I mean, it is, but there's another joint best part of it. Notifications, which is live activities. Like, notifications now come from the bottom, but live activities such as, say if you got this NBA game, or if you got a football game, or if you got an Uber delivery coming to your house or somewhere, instead of getting like 100 notifications like every 10 minutes to notify the score or where the Uber driver is, it will update live, and that is very cool. And focuses can now be streamed to your lock screen, which is also very good. And yeah, all of these things are very cool. Like, as you can see, more and more things. And you can also, by the way, select text from YouTube videos on iPhones, which is also very cool. And yeah, iPadOS 16 got Stage Manager for the M1 iPad Pros and stuff like that. And one other thing that I would also like to say that's on Apple's website, and I'm just gonna switch out of here for now. Let's go to Mac. Okay, it's loading. Macbook Air. I'm not even joking. This thing has literally got more expensive. It's like the old days have returned, but it's just so exciting. Like, this new MacBook Air. Look at it. Just look at it. If you go to view pricing, it's from £1,249 in this country, and M2 chip like £1,549. These things are now so expensive. But obviously we've got one model left of the M1 MacBook Air, but the other model got discontinued, the 512GB one. But yeah, this one for $9.99 if you still wanted it. To be honest, for those who don't really care about the speed, performance, and display and 1080p camera, yeah, you can go for that. And so that's really good. It's got that new notch display, liquid retina, everything. And yeah, that's the MacBook Air. What about the MacBook Pro? Now, this is where it gets complicated. You got the 14-inch, incredible. 16-inch, terrific. 13-inch. Okay, we saw the MacBook Air. Is this worth it? It doesn't have liquid retina display. It doesn't have a bigger display. It's got no notch. It doesn't have MagSafe, which the new MacBook Air does. It's got Touch Bar, which I wanted to use. I've never used a Touch Bar, so for me, I don't think I would care, but some people would care. And it starts at literally £100 more than the MacBook Air for only better battery life by some few hours, 4 hours, like something like that. And the same price as a maxed out MacBook Air for this maxed out MacBook Pro 13-inch. I don't think you could really recommend this to many people, as you might have seen on other YouTubers' videos. It's kind of made the MacBook Pro 13-inch redundant, and I fear that it might go soon. Like, I like having a Pro. If this was like back in 2021 or 2020 when you had the MacBook Pro 13-inch versus the M1 MacBook Air, I would happily go for this one. Like, it's got the Pro name in it. Like, I like those things. MacBook Air now seems more of a Pro device than this. It doesn't even have the good stuff. Like, it's stuck with a 720p camera as well. Like, you don't get any of the added benefits for the same price. Like, the only real thing that you would get is improved battery life and a touch bar. Yeah, literally, that's it. So, those are the new devices. To be honest, I was a bit underwhelmed by the MacBook Pro 13-inch. That didn't catch me as much as the MacBook Air. But do you know what? Like, back when they introduced the MacBook Pro 14 and 16-inch, those were, I couldn't even believe my eyes when I saw an SD card slot on there. Like, Apple finally redeemed themselves. Like, and it seems like the MacBook Air is doing exactly that. Like, it might not have the ports, at least it has 2 ports so you can actually use them, unlike the 13-inch MacBook Pro, which has 2 ports but 2 USB-C, I don't know, or I think it's Thunderbolt, yeah, 2 Thunderbolt or USB 4 ports, but then one of them has to be used for charging. But on the MacBook Air, you've got the MagSafe, so that's also quite good. And now, I loved WWDC22, and I think Apple's making the radical changes that we always needed. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you found WWDC22 interesting, and comment down below what features you liked and what you didn't like, and what you think about the MacBook Air maxed out compared to the MacBook Pro 13-inch maxed out, the new models. So yeah, tell me about that in the comments as well, and I'll see you in the next video.